Okay, this is Steve, Paul Marks here. This is video number 11 of 13, and it's about YouTube. And YouTube is one of the biggest pieces of the marketing puzzle online because it gets 2 billion plus views every single 24 hours. Every day, 2 billion. That's a lot of people looking at a lot of videos. Some of that video is not 30 seconds, it's longer. So it's a lot of time spent by humans on one site. And YouTube is owned by Google, and that has a bearing on things I won't go into beyond the scope of this. But these are 4 conversations about YouTube and the power of YouTube, and 2 of them are kind of related to each other, but all 4 of them are related to each other in the sense that they've had a big impact. YouTube's had a big impact on their respective careers and what they've done in a industry that's really, to some extent, distinct from the online world, the very real world, in this case of 1, 2, 3 music, and the 4th one something else, and I'll explain that in a minute. So the first one's WOTE, which is just an acronym for Walk Off the Earth, and that's a cover band. They call themselves a cover band. It's 4 gentlemen and a very pretty girl playing on a single guitar, and they actually wrote a song that was a cover of Gautier's global hit, one of the biggest hits. At one point it was the biggest selling song in the world, and probably for weeks on end, and that was Somebody That I Used to Know. And Walk Off the Earth covered that song on a single guitar, a guy banging on the guitar. You can look it up on YouTube if you haven't seen it. Hundreds of millions of views. Gautier, incredible numbers of views. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that this cover band ended up on, I want to say it was the Ellen show, that just rocketed the number of video views on YouTube through the stratosphere, and they ended up with a recording contract and a world tour as a cover band. And they're extremely talented. They've done their own music. They've done their own custom music. They have amazing, amazing voices and musicality. They're professional musicians, consummate professionals. But YouTube is how they got their start. And they simply took a song, a very, very powerful song by Gautier, and they made it into a career, a flowering career. They made a parody of the cover of the song, and they made a parody of the parody with puppets. They're incredibly creative, and Gautier, with their graphics and their voices and their professionalism, in their own right, unbelievable. So these 2 are just metaphors for when you already have the talent and you pair it with YouTube. Here we go, got a whole career. And then Journey is an example of a band that was kind of, had some difficulties because Steve Perry was doing something else, and they needed a front man, and they found somebody, I want to say from the Philippines or someplace in the Eastern Hemisphere, who they liked on YouTube, and he became the front man, and he's been with Journey for 5 years because he put himself out there on YouTube. Journey found him. He sounds a lot like Steve Perry. He's not Steve Perry. I'm a big Steve Perry fan. He's really good though. And YouTube made his career, and YouTube brought Journey back from the brink. And I don't know, it seems like I heard Steve Perry's coming back to Journey, maybe. Which this guy might have even facilitated. How about that? YouTube facilitating the return of the big rock star that made Journey what it is, because they found the right front man to fill in while he was busy with other things. Very cool. Another Steve character like myself. There's a lot of Steves around the world these days. Okay, then the last one, Hard for Words. This is a lady from Russia with an accent, a pouty face, doesn't like to wear a whole lot of things. That helps on the internet because it's mostly guys. The girls, for whatever reason, they've kind of gone missing from the internet in many respects, at least in large numbers. And she decided to make her career on the internet teaching people about what words mean. What? No, nobody cares about what words mean, right? Well, no, not so much. If you're really good looking and you're really good at teaching people words and word origins and that etymology, not entomology, they're kind of related. Insects in humans, insects and words, etymology, E-T-Y-M, entomology, E-T-O-M. Very close, very confusing. Most people don't know the difference between the two roots, but she does, and she teaches really, really well. Her name is Marina Orlova, and you can find her at hotforwords.com, and she built a whole career, 500 million views or some ridiculous number, because she decided to teach the English world, this Russian gal, about their own language, about that, on YouTube, and she's really, really good at it. And she just keeps teaching and teaching and teaching, and YouTube did all that for her. That's a message. That's a training that she can do that. And these other people sort of validate that training. So that's just a little thing about YouTube and the power of YouTube. Number 11.